Hello Toonami! Absolutely buzzing to chat with you all today about our beloved Newcastle United. What a time to be following the greatest club in the world. What do you think about the possibility of Liverpool's Kelleher joining the Magpies for 30 million? And how would you feel if Eddie Howe decides to drop Joe Willock for the crucial Chelsea match after his performance against Brighton? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Newcastle United leading the race to sign 30 million Liverpool Starwell. Lads and lasses, it looks like we might be in for some exciting transfer news as the summer window approaches. Newcastle United are reportedly emerging as frontrunners to sign Liverpool goalkeeper Kelleher for a fee of around $30 million. This could be exactly the kind of signing we need to bolster our squad ahead of what promises to be another thrilling season at St James's Park. The 26-year-old Irish shot-stopper has been a reliable deputy for Alisson Becker at Liverpool, making 20 appearances this past season and playing a crucial role in helping the Reds secure the Premier League title under new manager Arne Slot. However, with just 1 year remaining on his contract and a clear desire to become a first-choice goalkeeper, Liverpool seem prepared to let him go. According to reports, Eddie Howe views Kelleher as a potential long-term replacement for Nick Pope between the sticks. This makes perfect sense when you think about it. Pope has been brilliant for us, but having competition and depth in such a crucial position is exactly what top clubs need when competing on multiple fronts, with European football likely returning to St James's Park next season. Strengthening our squad with Premier League proven talent is absolutely essential. The competition for Kelleher's signature won't be easy, mind you. Chelsea, Bournemouth, and Leeds are all reportedly interested in securing his services. But it's our magnificent Newcastle United who appear most determined to get the deal over the line. And why wouldn't we be? Kelleher has shown tremendous composure, quality, and maturity when called upon at Liverpool. He stepped up admirably when Alisson was sidelined for 10 league matches due to injury and concussion issues. What makes this potential signing even more intriguing is that Liverpool have already lined up Kelleher's replacement. They've reportedly spent a similar $30 million fee on Valencia's Georgian goalkeeper, Georgi Mamardashvili, which indicates they're seriously preparing for Kelleher's departure. Liverpool seem to be respecting the Irishman's ambition to become a number one elsewhere, and that could play right into our hands. For Newcastle, this would represent smart business. We'd be getting a goalkeeper entering his prime years, who has already proven himself at the highest level. Kelleher isn't just any backup keeper. He's shown he can perform consistently in the Premier League and has been part of a title-winning side. His experience and winning mentality would be invaluable additions to our dressing room. The reported $30 million fee might seem substantial for a goalkeeper who hasn't been a regular starter, but in today's market, it could prove to be excellent value. Consider that Kelleher has already demonstrated he can handle the pressure of playing for a top club with massive expectations. He's also familiar with the rigors of the Premier League and wouldn't need time to adapt to English football. What's particularly exciting for us, Newcastle supporters, is what this says about the club's ambition. We're not just looking at any goalkeeper, we're targeting one of the most highly rated young keepers in the league, someone who could have gone to several other top clubs. This shows that Newcastle United are serious about building something special, about competing at the highest level, and about establishing ourselves as a force in English and European football. Just imagine Kelleher behind our increasingly solid defensive line, distributing the ball with confidence and making those crucial saves when we need them most. It's the kind of signing that could help take us to the next level. And with Eddie Howe at the helm, continuing to develop this exciting project, the future looks incredibly bright at St James Park. Of course, nothing is confirmed yet, and the summer transfer window can be unpredictable. But the fact that we're, even in this conversation, reportedly leading the race for such a talent, speaks volumes about how far we've come in recent years. From relegation battles to now being an attractive destination for top players, it's been some journey, hasn't it? Right, let's get stuck into this second story about our lads' recent performance against Brighton. The draw at the Amex was certainly not our worst result of the season, but it's fair to say it's left us in a bit of a precarious position when it comes to our Champions League aspirations. Our beloved Newcastle now sit just 3 points ahead of Nottingham Forest and Aston Villa in the league table, with those clubs occupying 6th and 7th place, respectively. The race for European qualification has become incredibly tight, and we simply can't afford any slip-ups in our remaining fixtures if we want to hear that Champions League anthem at St James Park next season. Brighton away has never been an easy fixture for us. They've got a solid home record against the Toon Army over the years. But even acknowledging that, we have to be honest and say that not too many of our players covered themselves in glory on Sunday. The performance lacked the intensity and quality we've come to expect from Howe's men. One player who's found himself particularly under the spotlight after the match is Joe Willock. The midfielder started his second consecutive game, but struggled to make a positive impact. His afternoon perhaps best summed up by receiving a yellow card for diving. Not exactly what we want to see from our players, is it? The former Arsenal man got the nod ahead of both Lewis Miley and Sean Longstaff, but based on that performance, many fans are questioning whether that was the right call. The reaction from the Toon Army online was pretty unanimous. Social media was ablaze with supporters calling for Miley to be given the starting berth against Chelsea in our next match. One fan didn't mince their words, describing Willock's performance as a disaster class and suggesting Miley should be demanding a start against Chelsea. Another supporter simply stated, Willock had the chance to step up and he didn't. Miley from now on. It's hard to argue with those sentiments when you look at how the game unfolded. Willock just didn't seem to be at the races. And in such a crucial period of the season, we need everyone performing at their best. That's not to say Willock doesn't have quality. We've all seen what he's capable of when he's firing on all cylinders. Remember that incredible goal-scoring run he went on? The lad has talent, there's no denying that. But football is about the here and now. And right now, Willock isn't delivering the performances we need in our push for Champions League football. The margins are incredibly fine in this race for European qualification, and Eddie Howe needs to be making the right calls for each and every match. What makes this situation even more intriguing is that Eddie Howe was actually full of praise for Willock before the Brighton game. The manager clearly has faith in the midfielder's abilities, but surely even he couldn't have been impressed with what he saw at the Amex. Sometimes as a manager, you have to be ruthless, and this might be one of those occasions where a change is needed. Both Miley and Longstaff deserve their chance based on recent performances. Miley in particular has been a revelation this season, hasn't he? The young lad has shown maturity beyond his years whenever called upon, and his energy and passing range could be exactly what we need against Chelsea. Of course, we shouldn't write off Willock completely. His Newcastle career is far from over, and there are mitigating factors to consider when assessing his recent form. The number of injuries he's suffered would impact any player's consistency and sharpness. It's not easy to get back to your best when your season has been disrupted by spells on the sidelines. However, with Champions League football at stake, sentimentality can't come into the equation. Howe needs to pick the team that gives us the best chance of winning our remaining matches. And based on what we saw against Brighton, that team probably doesn't include Willock in the starting 11. This is where having depth in the squad becomes so crucial. When someone isn't performing, you need to have quality options ready to step in. It's a luxury that wasn't always available to Newcastle managers in years gone by, but it's something we're gradually building under the current ownership and management structure. The Chelsea match now takes on even greater significance. It's a home game, and we all know what St James's Park is like when it's rocking. The atmosphere will be electric, and the players will need to respond to that. Whoever Howe selects in midfield, be it Willock, Miley, Longstaff, or a combination of them, they'll need to deliver a performance worthy of the occasion. What's most important is that we get behind the team, regardless of who's selected. That's what makes the Toon Army special. Our unwavering support through thick and thin. Yes, we can debate team selections and performances, but when those lads walk out onto the pitch, they need to know we're right behind them. The dream of Champions League nights under the lights at St James Park is still very much alive. 3 more big performances, 3 more results, and we could be there. It's going to be a nerve-wracking end to the season, but would we have it any other way? This is Newcastle United. Never straightforward, always exciting, and the best team in the world no matter what. Well, that's all from St James Park for today. Lads and lasses, keep supporting the best team in the world, and I'll be back with more updates soon. Remember, whatever happens in these final few games, we're Newcastle United, and we're on an incredible journey together. Away the lads!